What is up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Little Mermaid, the live action one from this year, 2023. So, a little bit of history. Since 2019, we have gotten some of the worst live action Disney reimaginings. We had the Aladdin remake, just bad. We had The Lion King, which wasn't terrible, but it was literally just the same exact movie as the animated film with less energy and less vibrant, like, funness. And it just had a really bad cover of Be Prepared. Then we had Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which was just bad. Cruella was pretty good, but it wasn't really a remake. It was just sort of a Cruella de Vil origin story that really has no connection or continuity to any of the 101 Dalmatian films. And then we had the Mulan film, which I kind of liked when I watched it, but then I thought about it some more. I'm like, some of those choices just really make that movie not the greatest. So I don't even know if I want to watch it again or would enjoy it if I watched it, but maybe I would. It was just kind of mid to begin with. And then we had this year's Peter Pan and Wendy, which is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. And it got positive reviews for the most part on Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't even want to know how bad the live-action Pinocchio with Tom Hanks was that got completely panned by critics. So, yeah, Disney is on a bad roll with live-action reimaginings, but The Little Mermaid is here to break that streak. It's actually enjoyable. I was worried that it was going to be pretty bad because the trailers weren't super convincing. The biggest thing being it just didn't look great. It looked kind of ugly. It was too dark and gray looking. I'm glad to say that for most of the movie, that's not true. It actually has more contrast and more good lighting and more color than I thought it was going to. Some of the scenes actually look much better on the big screen and colorful than they did in the trailers. And then there are some scenes that are still like that gray, gritty, weird, like dark look. Like it's ugly, and like I don't know why they didn't, like the filmmakers didn't try a little harder to make it look better. Especially that third act battle with Ursula just is so dark you can't see anything. It's just ugly. It's like the 2016 Suicide Squad third act level bad of visual, like, or even worse. Like it was pretty bad. But although there was some bad things in this movie, for the most part, it's pretty good. Like, it's nowhere near the animated films level. Like, the animated film is one of my favorites Disney films of all time. It's in my top 100 favorite films and top 100 best films of all time in the Boss's book. And this new one just does it justice. It does good. It's a good movie. It's like along the same level of, like, I'd say maybe not quite as good, but like on a lower level of like the Cinderella live action remake. It's about on that same level with a few scenes that drag it down a little bit. So, first off, I liked Halle Bailey as Ariel. She does a good job, and her voice is perfect for the role. And she's just gorgeous. She has a gorgeous voice. Sure, they could have made her hair more red. I don't understand. She's a mermaid. Just, you have flexibility. Nobody, like, knows what mermaids actually are gene-wise. So just give her some brighter red hair. Don't go for that dark ginger look. I mean, in the sun, she has, like, orangish hair. Like, her hair is definitely like an orangish color, but it's not the red that we loved in the animated film. But, like, that's the only thing that I have, like, any complaints with Ariel in this movie. Because Halle Bailey does a great job. She's a good actress. She's beautiful, and she just has a way of singing in this movie. It's different from the animated film, and I like the fact that it's not just her doing her best at copying the original. She actually brings different notes and different, like, highs and lows to the songs that she sings. And, like, the music in this movie, although most of it is the same as the animated film, a lot of it sounds a bit different. And so that keeps you like, it's fresh enough, but it also gives you that nostalgic feel. So I did like the music, and there are some original songs. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote or composed some of the new songs, if not all of them. And he's definitely a talented music dude. Like, he's good with musical theater, and so he was perfect for this movie. Although I think Disney is just using him way too much. You got Moana, Hamilton, and then you got Encanto, and now this, and like, I'm sure he works on some other stuff for Disney. But he's talented, and if they want to keep giving him the paycheck and just using him every single time they need a song written, then sure, why not? He's good at it. So I'm fine with it. The only song that was like new that I didn't really care for, I mean, I liked it. It was fun, but it just kind of seemed offsetting in the movie. Like, it didn't make sense from a creative standpoint, because it's like this rap number that Scuttle does with Sebastian the Crab. It's like them going back and forth in this rap kind of way. And it's fun, and like, it does serve its purpose, like, in terms of the story and getting across some information. But it's like, it's just such a mood shift. And like, it's just kind of weird, like out of nowhere, unexpected. I kind of enjoyed it. And I don't know. It's kind of like a weird scene. Like, if I was with somebody, I'd be like, kind of like getting kind of embarrassed that I was watching it, even though I kind of enjoyed it in a weird way. So that's my thoughts on the Scuttlebutt. That's the name of the song. So I don't know if I mentioned it. I'll mention it again. The third act just looks really bad. Like, you can't hardly see it. And there is one thing that I thought was, like, I noticed that it was a change from the animated film, and it's sort of a spoiler, but like, you can't really spoil much of this movie, because yes, it's the same exact story. Everything happens almost the same as the animated film. There's just more filler and like character development in between. And I do appreciate that. Prince Eric gets a lot more fleshed out as a character in this movie, although I'm just trying to like remember some of the scenes with Prince Eric, because he wasn't like a bone dry, like bare bone kind of character in the animated film. I just think he gets a lot more to do, and a lot more good, like, meaningful moments for his character in this movie. He's one of the few characters that I think might actually be slightly better than in the animated film, but that animated film is so good. Like, I don't know if I can say that. Like, Halle Bailey does really good as Ariel. I don't know if they could have got somebody better, but she's like, she nails it. And then you got, I don't remember who plays Ursula in this movie, but Ursula, she's okay. Like, I think for a live action reimagining, she does about as good of a job as you would expect. Like, she definitely seems like Ursula. It's just not the same mood or feeling that you get when you watch the animated. Like, it's not even as creepy, in my opinion. So that's my thoughts on most of the characters. Like one of the few characters that doesn't work at all is Flounder. Like, not because he's annoying or has anything wrong with him as a character. Like, he's just Flounder like he was in the animated film, except now he just looks like a dead-eyed, beady-eyed, dead, expressionless fish. And it's just like, okay, she's got a fish tagging along. He's no longer really like a character that you like. He's just a fish. And Sebastian the Crab, like, he's not got as much personality as the crab from the animated film, but he works. And Scuttle works. Aquafina is alright, but like, it's just not, like, seeing the like realistic looking animals just isn't the same as in the animated film. So like, don't even go there. Don't say like, oh, it was so good. Like, no. Scuttle, played by Aquafina, it's alright. It works. Sebastian the Crab, it works. Flounder doesn't work at all. But it's alright. Like, it doesn't take away too much from the movie. It's just like, that's one of the reasons this was never going to be as good as the animated film, because there's just some things that you just can't do in live action and make them work as well. That was one of them. So, like, sure, this movie is really charming. It has good moments. And, like, one of the biggest problems is although some of the changes are welcome, and some of the changes that they take, like, well, they changed one or so lines or words from the music number Kiss the Girl, but in context of some of the changes that they made to the story, like one of the ones was that Ariel wasn't going to remember that she needed to kiss Prince Eric, and like I'm like, they changed that. Why did they change that? I don't know it, but it actually, as it went along, it actually makes it a little bit better because their romance actually feels more organic. It doesn't just feel like Ariel's just trying to kiss this boy because she's just drop dead in love with him and she's just gonna go kiss him. Like, she actually feels more like, in terms of her romantic ambition, seems a little bit more grounded, and like she's shy, like she doesn't know if she wants to kiss Prince Eric, and he doesn't know if he wants to kiss her, and so like it actually does help make it, like, I don't know, a little bit more romantic in a live action setting. Like the animated film can get away with being less realistic and still be romantic. I do think that from a writing standpoint, the choices they made in this movie actually make sense for the characters because, yeah, it makes more sense and it's more realistic in like a sense. And it also just makes it seem more natural, like their chemistry and their romance, because Ariel wants him, but she's not just like trying to get at him every chance she gets because she doesn't remember that she has to kiss him. And so like that actually does make the stakes a little bit higher. It gives Sebastian the Crab and Scuttle like even more urgency to like get Prince Eric to kiss her. And so like some of that stuff, some of the changes are good. Once again, did they need to be changed? No, but do they work? Yeah, they work. And that's pretty much what I can say with this movie. I think that the director and the writers actually cared enough about the source material not to change too much, but to change just a little bit of it to make it seem a little bit more grounded and fit the live action setting a little better. Although, once again, the talking animals just, it doesn't work in live action nearly as well. So they couldn't really do much with that. So they did their best, I think. They actually made a decent film. And there's just, the biggest problem is now that this movie is actually good and Disney's going to probably make a lot of money off of it, we're just going to keep getting these over and over and over again, and until they run out of animated films to remake, and then they're just going to start remaking live action films. I bet. Like, I really don't want a remake of Pirates of the Caribbean. They are literally perfect the way they are. No need to remake. If you want to do a different story with Pirates of the Caribbean, do it. But leave my Jack Sparrow alone. Leave my Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann alone. Don't touch Pirates of the Caribbean, Disney. Do not touch it. Unless you're going to make a better sequel than Stranger Tides and Dead Men Tell No Tales with Johnny Depp in it, then that's acceptable. But it kind of just needs to be what it is, because it's good. Back to Little Mermaid and live-action Disney remakes. It's sad because this is one of the best movies, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Wakanda Forever. It's one of the best movies that Disney has come out with in like a really long time. Like since 2019, when they released like a billion different movies. That's sad. Like, that's been like 4 years. This is, aside from 2 director-driven Marvel movies, the best thing that Disney has come out with is a remake of The Little Mermaid. That's sad for cinema and creativity and original stories, because Disney just doesn't have an interest in them, and they're like the biggest film company out there right now. I wish that they would make more films like Encanto. Hopefully Wish is really good. Wish looks really good, and I just hope it delivers. I hope it's not ruined by things that Disney likes to do with their movies now. Strange World just was terrible. It sucked. It was bad. I hope Wish can be good, and I don't even know what they're doing with Pixar. Maybe Elemental will be better than I think it looks. I just think it looks pretty bad outside of the animation, which is gorgeous, but yet the world itself and the characters and the story just look so stupid and basic and overdone. So, and Pixar so far hasn't had a good track record since all the way back to Soul, I think it was. So yeah, it's been a while since Pixar came out with something good either. So Disney needs to get back on track and make more good movies like Encanto. And sure, if we can get like one live action Disney remake a year amongst some actual good original Disney content, I'm okay with that. I don't care if they keep remaking these, and I don't care if they cast a black woman as Ariel. I don't care. It worked for me. She's a mermaid. I don't care what the mythology says or the lore. Why does a mermaid need to be white exactly, even if she's from like that English place, Norse place, or whatever the lore is? They live under the water. They're mermaids. Like, they're not real. Let them be whatever color they want to be. That's Disney's choice, and that's the filmmaker's choice, and they picked an amazing actress for the job. And this movie is just really charming. It's pretty good. Those are my thoughts on The Little Mermaid. Overall, I'd give it like an 80, 81% maybe. Maybe even an 82%, but overall, like, there was some scenes, especially that finale, like, that scene with Ursula becoming huge and then fighting and all that, that should have been awesome, like, from a cinema standpoint, and it was so bad. Like, that scene was just so bad and so underutilized. I really hated that scene. That took a lot of points off for me, but this movie is still pretty good. It's much better than most of the remakes we've been getting from Disney. So overall, I really enjoyed The Little Mermaid. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss.